specializing in personal branding. And welcome that. I hope you all had a very good week, and it feels great to connect with you all this Friday evening. And just before we get started, I would like to give a little bit of an introduction to VWC. So, VWC is a part of the VDO organization, and it's created to bring together seasoned entrepreneurs and professionals at one single place. And with VWC, we aim to help you visionaries connect, share your expertise, and collaborate on potential projects. And we are huge supporters of collaboration and not competition, and that's why we pledge to support our members to scale via their potential business relationships. And today we have a very interesting topic, a topic that I think is a need of the hour. I'm just starting out, and still I think this is a need of the hour. And it's leveraging expertise in wealth management and people strategy, both very important parts of. I think I've come from a corporate background, so I've seen that you need money to make money, and you need people to make money. The two, both wheels of the cogs of this machine. So, with that, I want to introduce our very esteemed panel members. We have Mr. Ashish Bhave, who is a director at WPH Real Estate, and he is an NLP practitioner, sorry, a certified business coach, and very interestingly, an international mindset coach, and my favorite part, the certified law of attraction coach. So, sir, if you could just take a couple of minutes to introduce yourself again.
So you're on mute, I
Uh,
think.
yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah, 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 yeah. Now,
we can hear
am I
you.
audible now? Okay.
Yes, yes.
So thanks for introducing me. So actually, journey for me started with mindset shift only, and that's why I love this part, a mindset shift, and that's why I did a lot of education and lot of training in how I can develop my mindset to develop different kind of businesses which I am in actually, and it helped me a lot. So I know when you say money attracts money means exactly what, and that is something I think every entrepreneur has to work on. And since working in different fields since 2005 especially, and happy to share that I achieved my financial freedom in 2016. So actually I'm a financial retired person and enjoying my life the way I want. So running my business the way and the strategies and the plans and selecting clients for me. I'm fortunate one actually where I can have that bandwidth where I can select specific clients and then working on different projects with different people. And yes, I love collaboration, and that is a very very important mindset which every entrepreneur has to work on. So I have my companies at Pune, so in different fields we are working. And if you ask me what is my real work, my real work is money. So I help people to earn money, grow money, use money, and give back to the society. So this is about me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. That was such a nice introduction. I think all of us here strive that financial freedom, and we're so looking forward with our questions and to understand more from you. And we also have Miss Sayana Datta with us. She is the HR lead at Stackbox, a people strategist and a POSCO trainer. So now itself I would like to thank you for this service, that you are a POSCO trainer and an HR mentor. So, ma'am, if you could also shed a little bit light on yourself and what you do.
Thank you so much. I'm feeling so honored to be invited and also sharing space with someone like Ashish sir. And it's been a journey of almost 14 years now. I started as a core engineer, and I've handled team, and that's when I found my calling that, I like people. Yeah, I like people management, and I moved into more interactive segments of HR, and that's how I started getting into compliances, cybersecurity, POXO, POSH, okay, and started making spaces specifically safe, okay. So when you talk about POSH, um, I make workspaces where adults are working safe. And when you talk about POXO, I make schools I make institutions where children are involved, where young minds are involved, and they're shaping up lots of opinion. They're shaping up how they need to perceive themselves, how they need to perceive the opposite gender from a very young age, so that they grow up to be responsible citizens, so that it becomes easier for me to again go and set up posh when required for these kinds of people. It is a much smoother journey. And finally, I think nowadays respect is extremely important in every aspect of life, right? And that is where I come from, and I'm very passionate about. And the recent incidents which have sparked so much of debate, that has stirred the nation, I think I strongly identify with those causes. And I really feel making workspaces safe for each and every individual, it should not be just another tick box item, should not be a checkbox item anymore. It is something which is of paramount importance. So yeah, I think that's more about me. I'm working and in this space. I'm working in the strategic HR space. I'm working in the cybersecurity spaces. So it's a lot of people involvement, a lot of people management coordination, and I think I'm loving it. So yeah,
So
that's
glad
that.
to hear that. So
Yeah.
glad to hear that. And again, as you mentioned, we are in a very dire need for something like this. And again, a lot of appreciation for what you do of making this world a little bit of a safer space. So thank
I'm
you. And
trying.
so let's dig into our panel discussion for today. So what we have planned on how to make it work is I would be moderating the session and giving, and we have already prepared a set of questions which we feel would be, and we have separated that. So we will start with Ashish Bhave with you, sir. So we have our first question for you is that how can mindset framing impact financial freedom, and what are the key shifts that are required for entrepreneurs?
Okay, so very important thing, and this is something which I keep on discussing with many people. First, very important thing to start with, you have to define your financial freedom. What has to happen in your life financially, where you can say you are at a financial freedom, because that is the you can say a target also, and that is the biggest trap also. If you could not identify and if you could not define what financial freedom is for you, then it is a trap for whole life for you, because then you are chasing something which you had not defined. So first of all, it is very important to define what financial freedom is for you and then go for it. And then once you started that journey towards financial freedom, for me, if I say my definition of financial freedom is when my all needs and my standard of living expenses are taken care of for rest of my life, then I can say I am at financial freedom. So I don't have any other responsibilities other than these basic necessities, including lifestyle. Lifestyle is also a basic necessity nowadays. So these are the things which you have to define, and then you should be in position to quantify it. So quantifying that is also important, which will help, which will give you your number. So you should quantify and calculate your number, and Excel is very helpful in this. So you have to understand what are your expenses today, how inflation will impact on that, and with adding some formulas of discounting, then you can arise to that specific amount, basic specific PV. So there are two ways looking towards it when it comes to financial freedom. One is you can have that entire fund available with you, and then you can say you are at financial freedom. Or you can have a regular stream of income which can assure you, which can make it sure that you have enough money every time whenever you want. So this is when it comes to financial freedom. And financial freedom require one very important thing, that you have to have your budgeting principles or your expenses in check. right? So nowadays, what is happening? The lifestyle expenses are increasing like anything. This is I'm considering in personal financial management context. So there is no any limit on your lifestyle expenses. So you should be in position to identify what is your wants and what is your needs. Lifestyle expenses are also in needs nowadays. So you have to maintain yourself, you have to maintain your lifestyle, you may have to increase your lifestyle as and when required, depending on again your necessities and needs. So this is what we keep on communicating to all our clients. If the lifestyle expenses takes over your budgeting, takes over your expenses, then it is very difficult to reach to financial freedom. Because I know people are, because I'm in this field since 2005, I had seen people struggling for their expenses when they was earning 50,000 rupees a month. Now they are earning 2.5 lakh rupees a month, but still they have the same problem. So still they are struggling to match up with their expenses. So you have to identify, and you should be in position to differentiate between your needs and wants. So we have a formula for that, which we keep on suggesting to all our clients. And if you use this formula, then you can cut down your 20% expenses without compromising on standard of living. And that is what we called as a N and W rule, that is needs and wants rule. So that is a very simple formula and very easy to implement. Anything you feel like buying which is not your requirement as of now, not is your need as of now, you have to postpone that purchase of that particular thing 3 times. Okay. If you do this, however, there is a one terms and condition for that. This all 3 attempts should not be made on the same day. There should be a gap of at least 1 week between 2 attempts. So what will happen if it is really not needed? You may forget about it, because there is a lot of marketing which is happening, and you are continuously in that environment of marketing. Everyone want to sell you something, everyone want to take out money from your pocket, and you may get influenced with this marketing strategies what is happening around. So you have to protect yourself, and to protect yourself you have to immunize yourself. And to immunize, this formula can work wonders. So it is a almost 28 days gap from the day you started thinking about it and taking a decision of buying it. So in that 28 days, lot of things can happen, and then you are in control, you are in check. So you can, second very important thing you have to focus on, that is your earning. You have to continuously work on your own potential, develop your own potential to earn. I believe that being a student of subconscious mind, being a student of mindset development, I believe that every one of us has a tremendous potential to earn money. So earning money and keeping your expenses in check, these are the two things. If you really focus on, financial freedom is easy for you. And what shifts are required? One is very important. You have to start believing in yourself. You have to introspect with yourself. You have to continuously communicate with yourself. You have to support yourself and ask support from yourself. Second, you have to believe in abundance. There is a even the abundance plus, I would say, because abundance says that there is enough for everyone. I would say that there is a more than enough for everyone in this world. So you have to work with that abundance concept in when it comes to your earning, when it comes to your expenses, and then focus on your requirements and needs, and don't be in competition. Don't be in competition when it comes to expenses. Don't be in competition when it comes to earning money also. Collaboration is the right way, and you have to define your own life. It should not happen that you are living a borrowed life. You are living someone else's life. And yeah, once you get in trap of that, started living something then different than what your real personality is, then it is very, very difficult to catch and very difficult to understand who really you are. So these are the things which I think very, very important when you think of financial freedom in your life. And once I will tell you very important thing, once you reach to this level, your income generating potential will go up like anything. So in financial freedom, you will make much more money as compared to on the journey of financial freedom. And you have to enjoy this entire journey. Majority of times it happens that people have a focus on goal and they felt happy achieving that goal. However, journey is much bigger. Every day is a joy. Every day is a joy. Every day is an enjoyment. So you have to follow that journey with happiness. So focus on what good things are happening every day in your life. I suggest three this golden five formula to all our participants, all my friends also. So there are three things which you have to do 5 times every day. One is find out 5 good things happening every day in your life and collect them and retain them. Second, appreciate yourself 5 times for good things you did and appreciate others 5 times for good thing they did. So this is where you collect lot of happiness, lot of enjoyment, lot of good things, and lot of positivity for you. And positivity is a important fuel which you required on the journey of life, on the journey of success. That is to the financial freedom as well.
It's very interesting the quote that you mentioned, that we should not be in competition with our prices, and this is one of those quotes that should go on every business, I think, entrepreneurs desk when they begin, because everyone gets a lot of they get lost in that. So I think that is a good great takeaway that we've already got in the first question. So thank you, sir, for explaining the mindset principle and how to shift into that. Sayana ma'am, we have a question for you. We wanted to understand, now we're just shifting the space a little bit. We wanted to understand. So, a little entrepreneurs want to understand, how do we manage delays when it comes to team coordination for efficiency, and especially a lot of the time these inefficiencies happen because of a coordination issue. So, if you can give us some strategies or tools that can streamline the team collaboration so that there is progress in a timely way, so that it's not that we progress and then we stop. There should be a timely progress without compromising the quality. So any tools that you can suggest or any strategies for team coordination?
So, coordination is something which is quite paramount, and it involves a lot of multitasking as well. Okay. And many people, even during COVID days, I used to hear a term called that, for sending an email, you send an email and then you again coordinate and find out whether the email has been received or not, which is such a loss of time, isn't it so? So people should ideally be in a position that if I've put across one mode of communication which will be clear, it is expected that the other person or the other side, I will be able to generate a response from there. It cannot be that you're taking multiple modes of communication, and that involves a lot of time waste, and it brings down your efficiency significantly, I feel. So one tool that you asked for, I would say Slack is an amazing tool. All right. And for better coordination, I will always recommend that if you use Slack, you can make channels and you can create people who need to coordinate for some specific activity, and you are not creating a noise for others. All right. And since Slack is something where uh, a corporate company can usually monitor it centrally, because it has very good high level of cybersecurity protocols in place. Your conversation, your chats are safe. Okay. So I've seen after my company also, when we shifted to Slack from WhatsApp calls, emails, in-person conversations, the efficiency improves like instantly. And since the channel is so well encrypted, you know, it is very safe to communicate, and you know that if you want to glean data, you don't have to just scroll up and scroll down to find those important messages or documents. They don't get lost. All right. And that saves you time. You can archive conversations better, and your coordination, the overall coordination, will be very very smooth, and that brings up efficiency. So this is one of my 2 cents in this case for improving coordination to bring down delays and
You
ensure it's
definitely,
a trusted
yeah.
resource.
No, you definitely answer the question, especially when it comes to when you mentioned the bit about where we archive and we have to go through, and then there's again repeat communication. So something like
Yes,
this tool, I think that makes sense when you can easily look up what you had messaged about. So that I think
absolutely,
I have made a note
absolutely.
of that. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, Ashish, sure, now we're back to money matters. So we wanted to understand again. This now comes from an angle of wealth creation, but in, let's say, in a sustainable manner. So any strategies that you could share with us for sustainable wealth creation, and especially during market uncertainties, how should the mindset be, and how what are some things we should think keep in mind?
See, I will start with market uncertainties actually, because uh, this is something which every investor, when it is comes to financial management, when it comes to even building your business also, because that is also a process of wealth creation. When you are starting a business, you are building a business, that is a process of wealth creation. And that I really feel that that is the best way how you can create a wealth for yourself and generations to come. So first, very important thing you have to understand, what are the possible risks my business has, or what are the possible risks which I may have to face, different situations, different things. So first, very important things comes into my mind is risk management. So you have to have a risk management understanding, clear understanding of risk management, and then you have to have a proper protection for that. Likewise, what we also suggest for any businesses, all types of possible risk you have to work on. Human risk, then the financial loss risk, then you have that uncertainty for shorter term period. So you have to understand that there is a risk of, if you think about business, there is a risk of people leaving your company. There is a risk of hiring new people, which we don't know actually how they are going to work. So these all risks should be considered. There is a risk of competition, there is a risk of change, there is a risk of technology, there is a risk of uh, uh, different type of competition coming from totally different field in your market also, disruption. So there are a lot of things which are happening, and nowadays the speed of these things are much much faster as compared to say 50 years before. So you have to understand all this risk, and I suggest everyone to write down every such risk, and then find out how you can protect your company, yourself, from all these possible risks. Like the risk which are controllable, you can control it. So you have to have that all controlling measure. Then follow creating a system, creating a process, SOPs, and all that things which can protect you up to some one particular limit. And when any risk you know that there is a risk which are not controllable and significant also, you have to transfer that. And transferring that risk is the best way is the insurance. So you have to have that type of protection for yourself. For temporary risks, temporary changes, transition, then you have to have a protection fund with you. So these are the different risk measures, and there are there is a solution for each and every risk. So you have to find out right kind of solution for risk and go through that parameter. So very very important thing, all such risks which are controllable and significant, can be managed, can be very well planned, can be controlled within, and all non-controllable and significant risks should be transferred. Okay, there are very small risks which anyway you have to adapt. You have to bear them. Okay, like people leaving your company and all that. But for that also you have to have a strategy. Okay. Madam can talk more about that, how you can handle people, and how you can hire right kind of talent. So this is very important. And uh, protection system like emergency fund can help you for that specific growth. So I suggest that every business should have at least one year reserve with them. Okay. And very important thing, one very important risk management process or risk management principle you should have, that is having a great pipeline of clients. So when you have a good pipeline of clients, you know that client are going to come, your risk automatically goes down, and your thoughts about risk also goes down, because the mindset principle says when you are thinking about something continuously, you may attract that thing. So you have to write down all that risk, plan proper protection for it, and then go for growth. So instead of thinking about short term, go for long term, how you can plan for it. And very important risk which few entrepreneurs may go through, you don't use your life, your own principles into business. Business is a different and you are different. So if you are a very charitable person and you are very क्या उसको बोलते हैं कि सबको आसानी से कैसे काम करे, वो घर में कर रहे हो तो घर में रखो, वो बिजनेस में मत लेके आओ. Business attitude should be totally different. When you are running a business, it is about money, it is not about charity. So yes, there is a charity inbuilt into it, because if you really want to run your business successfully, you have to deliver good products, good services, and you have to satisfy clients. So doing your own good work in a right way is the best service what you can do to humanity. So in that way, there is a charity. However, it is all about profit. So whatever your principles you have at your home, keep them at home, and have a different personality when it comes to business, because that is very important risk which many businesses go through but don't understand. So these are the things. Write down, have a solution for each and every such thing, and then you can be completely focused on wealth creation then. So this is what my take on when it comes to risk management and growth.
Thank you, sir. And especially that part, I think it's very important for new entrepreneurs. The fact that they have to leave their personality of their self outside to separate that. I think a lot of people struggle with that. So thank you for touching on upon that as well. And I think yes, we will keep a note of our risks and then forget about them so that we can focus on the growth. So since you mentioned a lot about one of the risks is people leaving. So Saina, I have a question for you. Is that how do we build an efficient work culture that kind of minimizes this risk? So what should be how should we start that at the very beginning so that one the employees are happy, they consistently perform and contribute to an overall organizational growth. How can the leadership reinforce this? That's the question.
I love this question. And when we speak about culture, okay, making a corporate culture, there are lots of things which are available everywhere. That culture is of this type. It can be dominant, it can be docile, it can be feminine, masculine. Forget everything. Okay. Uh, the very basic thing that I tell all my clients also are in my workspace also, by default, the moment a person enters your workspace, okay, by default he commands a respect. Don't make respect is something where he or she needs to earn it. You don't have the time, to make a person earn respect. Respect is his basic right. Okay, with time what can you earn then? You can earn reliability. You can earn trust that yes, you can bank on my abilities, you can bank on my uh, performance, you can bank on the things that I will bring on table to catapult the business to a certain height that is required. But respect, that is something which is uncompromisable. Okay, build a culture where you are opening your windows to allow inclusivity, and you are not judging people from anything. We don't know their journeys, we don't know their background, and everyone has a unique and a worthy story to tell. Okay, it's just that the audience is different. Okay, but they all command that respect. So build that culture where you do not feel threatened with anyone coming in your arena. Okay, why should you feel threatened, and why do you feel the need to ridicule someone? Isn't it so? uh, because you are actually feeding your own insecurities. So instead of actually bringing that person down, you are actually feeding your insecurities which are coming up on the surface. Okay, and you should never support a culture like that. A culture should and always must be inclusive. When it is inclusive, when it is diverse, every talent gets a chance to thrive. Every talent feels that I am respected. This is something which is done and dusted. I am respected. इसके ऊपर मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ? And they get a different vigor, a different zest to work with. And everything else, follows up. The other nitty-gritties of other culture is to some extent aligned with the values and principles of that company, and those things can differ, and those are micro things. But at a larger picture, this culture is something so important. Respect. So
Thank you.
that's
That's such
that.
a simple thing that people can forget. Respect is something that everyone is actually entitled to, and that is something that people actually forget when it comes as a basic right. So, again, making a note of that. Thank you. Um, Ashish, back to you. Question about I think you've touched a bit on the personal finance habits with your needs and wants rule. But are there any secret apps or tools that you can suggest individuals to streamline the personal finance management so that they can do budgeting also, they can do the investment tracking also? Do you would you like to recommend some apps to our audience or any tools
There are
apart from
few
Excel?
apps which are I love Excel actually. So there are a lot of macros which you can put, and you can create a lot of graphs and all that. So we create a plans for our clients on Excel. We don't use any other software or what, but there are many such softwares which are available. And nowadays there are many softwares which are available from your bank itself. So where you have your banking account, earlier there used to be independent softwares, but I recommend now to use such a software which is recommended by your bank itself, so that your every entry is tracked. And they have their classification also, where you are actually spending your money. So you know how much you are spending on shopping, how much you are spending on education, how much you are spending on traveling, how you are spending on restaurants and foods and everything, and clothing and all that. So every such thing is tracked very well. So that is one of the tool which you can use. For budgeting, I still recommend, even if you don't say, I will still recommend Excel. It is better to record it, because recording, you have to see, it is not only about tracking your expenses, it is not only about tracking what is happening with you, but becoming aware about it is very important. So when every day you are filling that numbers into Excel, you are aware actually what you are doing. Because software will do it without knowing you, and you may look at it, you may not look at it, but and have a good graphical representation when you are filling that. So you can see graph moving up and moving down and all that. That is very interesting part to look at. So that will inculcate your habit of thinking about money and taking care of your money. So taking care of money is also important, very, very important to me. and this habit will automatically get inculcated, get seeded into your habits, into your behavior when you do it with Excel. And for rest, all other tools are. So there is no special recommendation for any tool. All tools are good. You have to identify which one is useful for you. And very important, just do not do this. Just do not subscribe to any such tool and just leave it with them. You have to track. So every time I recommend every individual should invest at least 2 hours monthly for financial, for money man. Because on a lighter note, no, but it is very serious note, I would say, your child may not take care of yours at the time of retirement or after retirement, but your money will take care. 100%. And when your child knows that you have money, your child will take care of it. So you have to have that very important thing. And one thing I want to mention, that every entrepreneur has to inculcate an habit paying self. Because normally I had seen entrepreneurs of one person who actually works for rest of things, rest of others, and do not take a single rupee from this. So you have to take your money, your salary from your business and work and complete your all financial needs and requirements personal from that earning only.
Thank you, sir, for that. And definitely, I think Excel is going to be it's going to be an important tool. I think in the next 50 years also, I don't think it's going anywhere. Excel, it's still the basic tool, and that's still the most advanced tool, both basic use and advanced use. So I'm happy with that recommendation. Um, okay, Sana, if you could just help us to understand. So, like Excel, we were using for tracking finances and everything. But now, how are we going to track the team performance? So, what is the best way that when a new entrepreneur, or even a seasoned entrepreneur, how can they evaluate? What factors should they take in when they evaluate the team performers? And how often do you think that this activity should be done?
Now, there is a myth which I would like to address right now, that performance appraisal, we usually see and we usually hear this term when there is a compensation benefit hike associated in the company. Okay. So, what happens is people tend to mingle these two things. However, they are totally different things. Okay, there is a performance appraisal which happens very formally just before your uh, compensation benefit revision. Okay, and as a result, people have this innate tendency of relating these two. However, it is very important to understand that performance appraisal cannot be constricted and limited during only that time. It has to be an ongoing process. Okay. We have to inculcate a culture where feedback channels are very, very well established. Okay. And in this case, I feel as HR leaders, okay, HR leaders should choose their stakeholders, which are managers and supervisors, and enthuse this sense that please continue this dialogue and empower them. Okay, don't feel insecure that why should I do that, then what will I do. Okay, no, you are actually delegating and empowering them with that vision, that continue to have the continuous dialogue with your team. Okay, and whether you measure it through KPI, KRA, that is a different thing. Get into the culture, get over a cup of coffee and discuss it with your team members and make it less daunting. Okay, that way people will not be the advantages of these kinds of culture is that you will not be suffering from recency effect, you will not be suffering from halo or horn effect. Now, what are they? Recency effect is something like this, where you only tend to remember what your team member or your subordinate has done just before the compensation benefit revision. And if he has done consistently well for the last 10 months, and in the last few months this person has not done so well, that unfortunately can get captured, and that becomes into a horn effect. Okay, and he or she can suffer in his revision. All right, the opposite is also true. He has been lazing around happily without any pressure from anyone, and in the last 2 months he picked up the pace, and he has all his spreadsheets and his presentation right stuck on your face, and you tend to remember that. That is also a different kind of recency effect, where this person has just got the rise because he performed very well in the recent few time under which the radar has been triggered. So I really feel that performance evaluation should be a culture of continuous dialogue. It has to be maintained, and HRs should only intervene when it is required. Like like suppose a subordinate says that I've been trying, ma'am, or I've been trying, sir, to initiate a conversation with my manager, but I'm not managing to acquire his feedback. Can you help me? That is when the HRs should step in. You really need not have to barge into people's camaraderie and tell that do it. All right, you talk about it, you make it a point of how you do performance appraisal, give them ideas, conduct awareness sessions often throughout the year. Okay, and make it make it happen. But if you ask that you still need to document it, then do it like by month, once in 2 months, or quarterly you can do. And there are tools like Keka, Darwinbox for smaller companies, and bigger companies have other stuffs like SAP, and Success Factor is also in place. So you choose that tool accordingly. But this human touch of having a dialogue, I don't think that can be replaced with any other tool. Okay, your team's performance is bound to come up if you maintain that personal touch throughout the year. The KRAs, KPIs, those are there in your MBA books and your theory books, and you can refer to it in order to present data. But when it comes to human touch, when you really want your team to actually perform, show up for you, you need to have a continuous time. That's what I
You
feel.
have to keep the conversation going, all
Yes,
countries.
yes. They need to know that my work deserves a feedback. I am being watched and I'm being guided from time to time. I'm not alone in this journey. Yeah.
Thank you, Sana. That was very insightful. Um, sir, coming to your last question, since you're such an advocate of law of attraction, and can you share with us any one your favorite affirmation that you think we can any entrepreneurs should do when once they wake up? Any one single affirmation that comes to your mind?
This is a fantastic affirmation. Every day, in every way, I'm doing better, better, and better. So this covers everything. And then you can create your own personal affirmations. I would suggest you should have your own prayer entrepreneur. What you do, what kind of change, what kind of value you are adding into this community, how many people you would like to touch in this entire world with your work, with your expertise, with your passion, with your love. So, as being in Maharashtra and being in from here, uh, we used to pray every day, every evening in front of God. Shubham Karoti Kalyanam, that is what we say. So, we pray for everyone in this world. Like सर्वे न सुखिनः सन्तु सर्वे सन्तु निरामया सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. So this is like a prayer for this universe. I suggest everyone, every entrepreneur should have their own prayer. So, and they should put all that things which they want to give to the society, and what kind of support they require from this universe or this community to them. And uh, money, all these powers, actually, when I say, when you are communicating, you are always communicating to three powers. One is a power which you are communicating to. Second is you are communicating to yourself. And third, you are communicating to God, communicating to universe, communicating to this superpower of this entire universe. So you have to inculcate, or you have to put all these things into your prayer, and make a fantastic prayer for that. You can start right now with that, and gradually be flexible. As that mindset, also the entrepreneur mindset, you should be flexible to adopt new things and adapt changes. Here also you have to start and get it updated, rework, keep on working, and every day, thrice in a day, you should have your prayer. Every morning, every afternoon, every evening.
That itself is an affirmation, right? Prayers is one way of an affirmation. So thank you, so thank you so much for that. So now looks like we have come to almost the end of our session. So we started with Mr. Bhavesh sir, where he has graciously explained to us the importance of mindset, the importance of believing in abundance, so that the money works for you. And it's always better to know your risks and work on it, have a plan ready, and then forget about the risks and only focus on growth. We've also understood that you don't need any fancy tools. Excel is the way to go. And we've also got a nice affirmation from him, which I'm sure all of us are going to inculcate, and we are going to pray to ourselves and to God and to everyone else, so that there is for all entrepreneurs, this is, I think, a very, very important session, and a lot of value. And Sayana, thank you so much. You've given us so much insight on, in fact, for me personally also, I think that those things are things that very easily people forget. Everyone, as you mentioned, everyone's always focused on the MBA jargon and how to scale and audit and words and all, but the simple things, like as you mentioned, giving basic respect, that is going to go such a long way. And even having a conversation going, and actually treating people as as people and not resources, irrespective of the term human resource. But I think you've made us understand that it's the people here. So we've taken so much value from this session, and we hope you had a good time talking to me and talking to the audience here. And so I would like to now end the session and just tell my audience members that we do a lot of these sessions every week. And to have such valuable sessions, please sign up with the link that you can see above, and we all will see you next time. But sir and ma'am, if I could just take a single picture for our socials.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm very thankful to you that you invited me to share my thoughts with all of you. And I